All right, there we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome. It's Kourtney here with Scrapbook-N-Memories, and we're going to do Crafty Hour number 86. So this Crafty Hour is a really fun one. It's nice and bright and cheerful and lots of colors, and we are going to be playing with the Simple Stories Pink Lemonade collection. There was lots of fun add-ons that went with this, including the let me try to move some jars here. Lots of add-ons, including the brads. There was a matching die set. I forgot it at work. And lots of foam stickers, ephemera, and things that match and coordinate. I know a lot of you guys grabbed those too. So we cannot wait to see what creation you make, but then also what extras that you guys come up with too. So make sure you are part of the Crafty Hour Creations private Facebook group, because that's kind of our message group where you can post your makes, and we would love to see what you guys are creating and then also what you're making with all those additional items. We're going to give it a go here. We are in the Midwest. As you know, it is tornado season. And we have warnings and watches about 2 hours from us. So hopefully we should be good. Brian Busby says we're good for a while. Everything's over in farther Kansas right now. So we'll just kind of keep an eye to the sky, and hopefully we don't lose internet, and we should be good. But it is just another day in the Midwest for tornado season. So that is what it is. So this is what we're going to play with, guys. I know Scrapbook-N-Memories, we have 4 of these kits still available. So if you have not grabbed a Crafty Hour 86, you can still do so. There's 4 up on our website. That way you can create and join. And then don't forget, we always have these on our Facebook page. So you guys can go back to our on our Facebook, but then also to our YouTube channel. Both stores have YouTube, because Facebook deletes lives after 30 days now, and it's just easier to find them over on the YouTube. You'll look for either Scrapbook-N-Memories or look for Clipper Street, and you will find all 85 Crafty Hours listed right now. So you can go back and catch them on replay or watch them for your first time. Maybe you don't know what a Crafty Hour is and you want to get an idea of what we've done and what we're doing, and you'll find that there. On there. Okay, is everybody ready? I think we're finding us. So this was the homework that I had you guys do. And I didn't give you precise measurements because we're going to have to fudge a couple things. So there's not precise measurements. So you're going to need some gold Miri. About an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper will be perfect. Some white cardstock, and I said 65 pound. You want a lighter weight cardstock for what we're doing, and I'll show you why in a minute. And then I said some nesting dies that are symmetrical. The one I'm using is the Scallop Stack Rectangle from Craft Addiction. We carry these in stores. Clipper Street has them too. It could be, it doesn't have to be decorative like this. It could be just a square. It could be a rectangle. It could be a circle. It could be an oval. Let's say you don't even own a nesting die. You can still do this same technique by just cutting a rectangle. It just won't have the decorative edges. So you can still do it even if you guys don't own nesting dies. But the nesting die is what makes it super cute and adds that little extra something to it. So that's what I used. And I'm using the third one. So if you're going from the outside or the inside, it's the third one is the one I'm using on this one. Okay, so, and then I also said some gold pearls and some black twine. Okay. Gold pearls, variety of sizes, black twine will get you guys going. Okay, so what we're going to do, this is a gatefold, guys. And I keep clicking comments because, as you know, Facebook is doing some weird stuff. And sometimes it shows comments, sometimes it doesn't show comments, and sometimes it stops showing comments. So I'll try to answer any comments that I see. If I don't see your comment, I'm not ignoring you. It's just Facebook's not showing it to me, guys. Facebook's been very finicky and touchy over the last 2 weeks, and I learned today about the button that says live chat, and I thought, oh, maybe if I click that it'll fix it, but it didn't. It's always been on live chat, so I don't know what its deal is. Okay, grab a sip of water. So what we're going to do is this gatefold. This will be our first one that we're going to do. It is a gatefold closure. So this guy right here, pardon me, is going to slide off. So that is what's going to close our gatefold. And then this guy here looks like a beautiful, just rectangle, but we're going to build this kind of mechanism here. And this is what is kind of our secret slider. So when you put it on, both sides, you'll see, and mine's kind of tight, both sides will just go on there. And you saw how I did it. And it just slides right on. Okay, so that's what we're building. That's what you're going to need a symmetrical die for. If you don't have a symmetrical die, like I said, don't worry. Don't stress about it. You don't have to have one. Let me find one of my Crafter's Essential Rulers, and I will give you the measurements here. Let's find mine. So if you don't have the die, just cut a rectangle that is like 2 3/4 by 4. And you will be doing fabulous. 2 3/4 by 4. And I'll write that on here. 2 3/4 by 4. Or if you're using a circle or oval or something else shape, just make it that ish. Ish is all you need. Just something that centers and looks pretty on your card. Okay, so let's get started. So what we're going to do, of course, we always have our sloppy copy. We're going to cut our white cardstock, and like I said, I did it 65 pound. The reason I did it 65 pound is there are 4 sheets of cardstock in here, 4 sheets. And if you do it with too thick a cardstock, it makes it too bulky, and then it doesn't slide on and off. Same thing, I did 65 pound cardstock here because you are going to add extra layers here, and that's going to work it up. And you don't want it too thick, otherwise it won't slide in these little like butterfly wings that we create. So that's why I said 65 pound, just something lighter weight on cardstock. So you're going to grab your piece of white cardstock. Okay, so this is an 8.5 by 11. We're going to cut it to 8.5 by 5.5. Okay, 8.5 by 5.5. So you're just cutting it in half. It's already 8.5. We're just going to put it at 5.5, and we're going to slice it. This guy, save for later. We will come back to him. We will come back. Okay, so then you're just going to flip it, and now we're going to score it. Okay, there's our 8.5 by 5.5. We're going to score it at 2 1/8, and I'm just going to double check on both sides. Okay. So when you do your 2 1/8 and your 2 1/8, that makes a standard A2 card. So this is standard A2, okay? So we're going to do it at 2 1/8. So you got 2 tick marks over, in between 2 and 2 1/4. So we're going to do 2 1/8, and we're going to score it really good. Score it really good. Then we're going to take it and we're going to flip it. So we're just going to rotate it in our trimmer. And we're going to do 2 1/8 on the other side also. I figured it was easier to do the same measurement twice than it was to try to choo-choo train through and figure out a sizing, and then it would probably been wrong. Okay, so we have our valleys. We're going to flip it over, turn our valleys into a mountain. Valley into a mountain. And then we're just going to score it. I'm going to get out my trusty, love my scoring tool, and we're just going to score it. Now you're going to notice that it's kissing it pretty close there. So what I did is I put it on my trimmer and I just shaved a hair off both sides, because what we're going to need is a little bit of a gap in here. And again, this is why I did not give you measurements in advance, because we're just going to fudge it a little bit on each side, and we'll continue to do that until we have our measurements in there. But my gap is about 1/8 of an inch, about 1/8 of an inch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my guillotine, because it shaves just little hairs, guys. And I'm going to put it in my trimmer, and I'm literally just going to shave a little hair, and we can shave more later, okay? And when I say I shave it a hair, that's my hair, okay? And we're gonna do that on both ends. So then we're gonna flip it, and we're gonna shave it again. And we can come back later and shave more, but we just want to get our mechanisms first and make sure everything's fine and dandy. So then when we close it, you're going to see there's a little bit of a gap in there, and that's what we want. And we can make this gap bigger later also, because you'll see when we get there, okay? So once you have this, we're going to set him to the side, because we're now going to make our little mechanism. So you're going to grab your die, or if you're not doing a die, you are going to do this right here. Cut a rectangle that is 2 3/4 by 4, and you're going to cut out 4 of them. You want 4. Okay, so I already have 1 right here. I'm going to punch out 3 more. So I'm going to get my die cutting machine, and I'm going to die cut. I'm going to die cut 3 more of these guys. When I was die cutting this particular shape, what I really liked about it is it punches out these sweet little, it just reminds me of precious little, like a doily, very intricate. It punches out all these sweet little holes. You don't have to try to punch those holes out yourself. And what I really loved is there's nothing to clean out on your die. These are solid on the die. So you don't have to take your stylus and clean all those holes out, because sometimes those little itty bitty dots are kind of a pain to clean out. So I love this die for the fact that there is no cleaning out of those little bitty holes. Okay, so we are going to die cut 4 of this shape. So whatever shape you guys decided to do it 4 times. And you just want to make sure it's something that is symmetrical. So when you fold it in half, it looks the same on the left as it looks on the right. And that's kind of the trick to it. Okay, so there's 1. I need to clean my cutting plates. Comes number 2. And can we squeak number 3 on here? Oh, yeah. Feel like the Kool-Aid Man. Oh, yeah. Or maybe that was Macho Man. No, I think it was Kool-Aid Man. Might have been both of them. My grandpa loved to watch that fake wrestling, so I grew up watching Hulk Hogan. Okay, 4 of them. So once you've got those, you're good to go. How are we doing? I don't know if I can see comments. They're kind of old. Maybe if you guys give us thumbs up, maybe I can see those. So once we have these, you're going to leave 2 just like that. 2 are going to stay just like that. Oh, I can see thumbs up. Okay, great. 2 are going to stay just like that. The other 2, we're going to fold in half. And I'm not a good half folder, so I'm going to put it on my score tool. And what I loved about this is there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It is exact. There's 4 humps on each side. So on this die, you could find the center of it really easy just by the humps. Okay, so you're just going to score it in half. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing to the other one. Or whatever shape you're doing, just find the halfway point, and you're just going to score it in half. Now, if finding the halfway point on a scoring board is too much work for you and too much math, just fold it in half. You can just fold it in half. I just want to have a nice, crisp fold, okay? And then we're just going to fold it. Get off there. Fold it in half. Okay, so then that's why we wanted it symmetrical. When we folded it in half, we wanted it to match up and be perfect. So we're going to do that to both of them. So our 4 shapes, whatever shape you guys decided on, we're going to have just like that. Okay, we're doing good. I'm going to use some liquid glue. You can use your runner. You can use whatever you're comfortable with. And what we're going to do is we're going to take we're going to call this our front piece. We're going to put glue here on this half, and then we are going to line that front piece up perfectly. So it is going to start that little hingy part. Okay. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay. So like I said, I'm just going to use liquid glue. We're using it on the top half. And we are going to matchmaker it up. This would be pretty. Now that I'm looking at this piece just reminds me of like a vintage doily. It's just really nice. Okay, so there we have that. This is what we got. Our other piece, we're going to do the same exact thing. So we are going to butt the crease up. So your score lines are going to butt up to each other. And you're going to do the same thing to the other side. So then we end up with something that looks like this. We have like little butterfly wings. Okay. So I'm going to now put glue on this side. Again, we're still on the top of it. And you are going to butt those score lines up with each other. This one gets a little trickier because it wants to like lift while you're doing it. Just gonna line up those designs and press. Really easy, guys. Okay, so now what we end up is this. Okay, so this piece is flat, and then when you flip it over, these two pieces raise up. Okay? What we're going to do on the two sides that raise up, we need these guys to stay flat. We need them to go flat. So what we're going to do is we're going to add adhesive on these, and then this guy goes on top. So what we've done is we'll have a solid on the front, a solid on the back, and we've got the butterfly wings squished in the center. Okay? And again, use whatever adhesive is your preference. You can use runner. I like to use the liquid or a score tape, something that's nice and strong. Anytime I'm doing interactive pieces or mechanisms that are going to move a lot, just so it stays put. Sometimes when you have a lot of fun folds or moving bits and pieces, the mechanisms will come apart. Okay, so now we've got a flat, and our little pop-up. So make sure you don't glue your wings flat. Okay, this is where we're going to test and see if it slides in. The first one I did, it was kind of tight to slide in, and it didn't lay flat. So what I did is I just took some more off. Now look, mine is laying flat. I'm good. The first time I did this, my card was bowed. And it was bowed because I didn't take enough off of these wings, the side panels, and it was hitting the center mechanism, and it was causing these parts to curve. If yours are curving, take just a little bit more off of each side to make it even. You don't want to take more off of one side than the other. You want it to be centered, but just take a little bit off of each side, and then that way you will see it's going to slide freely. Okay? You want it to slide freely, and you also want it to lay flat with no bow. So this piece is perfect. So then we can start decorating. We know our mechanism's flat. We know it's there. We can start decorating that piece. Whoops, I just sat on my trimmer. Okay, are we good with that? Yeah, my comments are not changing. So I'm sorry if you guys are commenting. Facebook is not updating my comments. Okay, so what we're going to do now is our pieces. So depending on how much you cut off or didn't cut off, yours might need a little bit more. So I put the measurements on here. Your card gold is going to be 5 3/8 tall, and it might be 2 inches. It might be a hair smaller than 2 inches. It all depends on how much you guys chopped off. So you're just going to have to adjust yours accordingly. Okay. So it might be 2 inches. It might be a hair smaller than 2 inches. Okay. So go ahead and we're going to cut that. Get our gold cardstock. And we're going to cut. I'm going to cut my 2 inches first. And I'm going to cut both of them because we're doing 2 at the same time. And then 5 3/8. There's 5, 1, 2, 3. And then this is where you're just going to put yours on your panel and then see if you just need to shave off a little bit more or not. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and I'm going to exit out and come back and see maybe if it'll update some comments for me. Nope, still the same comments. Okay. Maybe nobody's commenting. Maybe everybody's got it. Everybody's jiving. I put some lotion on and now I have fingerprints. Okay, so that piece is going to go right here on the white panel. And you want to have white all the way around the outside edges of it. And it looks like I need to shave just a hair off of mine. Mine is not very much white. So I'm going to shave a hair off of each of mine. And by hair, this is what I mean. Just a sliver. Not a lot. Just a sliver. Let's see how that looks now. Perfect. Looks perfect. Peanut, can you get out of that, please? Okay, so then we're just going to glue those panels down. And you're going to have a little bit of white showing all the way around it. And I love the papers in this collection. They were just so bright and pretty and very fun to work with. Okay, so in your paper collection, that was part of your homework, was to grab this red pinkish plaid. I love plaids. I have a thing for plaids. I think they're just really easy to work with. So again, we're going to be kind of working with ish on some of these. So this is the red one. It's going to be 5 3/8, a hair shorter, by like 1 7/8, a hair shorter. So you might have to go in and kind of play with it a little bit, because depending on if you had to shave a little bit more, a little bit less off on yours, yours will vary. Okay. Okay, so let's see how we're looking. Looks like I took a little too much off my plaid. So to make it equal, I'm just going to take a little bit more off on the side. About eyeballing tonight. Okay, there we go. That looks equal. Perfect. It's a little bit more gold showing than my original, but it's okay. It doesn't have to be exact. Sometimes you want a little more gold, sometimes you want a little less. Okay, so we're going to put that plaid on, and we're just decorating the panels. So originally what I was going to do too on my card when I was doing it, you got this big panel here. I was going to put him on the inside, and that will mat really nice, and that'll fill in that white hole. So if you want to use that for your liner, there's plenty of that paper left over that you can use for your liner also. Oh, I do see a comment, Amy. Yes, Peanut thinks she's helping, and now Scruffy thinks they're helping. Anytime Mom goes to her craft room, it means we're ignoring the puppies, so all the puppies have to gather. And then with the storm coming, Scruffy does not like storms. So she wants comforting. Okay, so there we go. There is your card piece. And then we're going to go in now and decorate this fun little panel. So we want to put gold on here also. So you can kind of see I did on there. We're going to have our little gold. So that gold is 2 1/4 by 3 1/2. Okay, 2 1/4 by 3 1/2. Oops. Hit the lights, looking for my gold. Okay, so 2 1/4 by 3 1/2. And that piece is going to fit right in the center of this. If you're using a different shape, then just kind of measure yours and figure out what your center is. But we're just going to kind of mat a piece of gold on there. Oh, hello, Julie. Oh, I'm jelly. She said it's sunny there in Langley. It is cloudy and stormy, and the tornado warnings and watches are popping again tonight. It's just a normal day in the Midwest. Okay, so there's that. Then in your paper collection, like I said, I love plaids, guys. I thought this was fun. So we're going to use this plaid right here. And this one's going to be 2 1/8 by 3 3/8. And make sure your print is right side up. You want to make sure it's right side up. Okay, so it fits on there. So 2 1/8 by 3 3/8. Keep discarding those. And then that guy is going to go right in the center. Oh, mine has that glue on the top of it. Let me cut that off. Sometimes that glue hangs on from the paper pads. Okay, so we're just going to put that guy in the center now. So we're just kind of layering stuff. It's all to just decorating and layering. I did think about putting a shaker on the front of this. This would have made a really cute shaker card too. Man, my glue is really globby tonight. You can tell it's humid. Anytime it's humid, the glue just forces itself out. Same thing with my white gel pens. They flood also when it's humid like it is right now. Something about the pressure. Oh my gosh, the pressure. You definitely feel it in the head. Pushes it out. Okay, there's that. Okay, so then we're going to look for this right here, and we're going to cut out this tag. You can use your trimmer, you can use your scissors, use whatever you want. That was on the homework too, to grab out all of these papers. So we're just going to slice those apart. I'm going to use my trimmer because even though in my head I think I can cut a straight line, I can't. I then cut a little bit more on the left, a little bit more on the right, a little bit more on the left, and before I know it, it is time to get a new piece of paper. So I'm just going to use my trimmer because I'm pretty handy with my trimmer. Okay, so there's that piece. And then we're going to take our, just take a hole punch and punch a hole. Because to me, a tag has to have something in it. You can't have an empty tag. It has to have a piece of string or jute or ribbon or something in it. You can't have a naked tag. Okay? Okay, so once you've got that, I just said to have some black jute. So grab some jute, and I'm just going to tie a bow. Nothing fancy, nothing difficult. We're just going to tie a little bow. I know, are any of you guys good at cutting a straight line with scissors? Is there a science to it, guys? Is there an easier way to do it? Or is it just close your eyes, hold your breath, and do it? Or does it not bother you? I don't know. It bothers me. I have to have straight lines. Okay, so there is our little tag. Okay, and now we're going to start decorating this piece right here. Man, I got muslin all over the place. I got all kinds of things. I'm going to put some pop dots on this because we put ribbon on here and it's kind of bulky. If I went to glue it down flat, it's going to kind of lift up a little bit here at the top. And I didn't want it doing that, so I'm going to pop the whole thing. And I'm just going to use what I call my low foam tape. This is the one, it's the 108. The 108 foam tape. And I'm just going to put 2 strips along that. How are we doing on time? We are doing great. I was worried I might run out of time, but I think we're doing great. Amy, we just got more of these big rolls back in stock. We have every color imaginable. We just got them back in stock. There are 500 yards on it. I was always running out of black and never being able to find it or neutral, so we just got these in stock. So it should last you a lifetime. And a bunch of colors. I don't remember how many colors we have. We have 20 colors maybe? There was a bunch. Okay, so there we're doing that. And then we're going to dig out, I had you guys grab for homework. These pieces were part of your homework to grab out. That's what you're going to grab. Right? Okay. This guy we're going to pop. We're going to pop him up. So I'm putting the normal pops on it, the normal height. Let me find my squares. I'm just going to put my squares on. I love scrapbook adhesive. I think they also go by 3L. I think they have the best foam stuff. I love their dots. I love their micros. I love their rolls. I love the strips. I think they have the best one out there, and their prices are great. And yeah, so I have a variety. There is no one foam that works for everything. That light blue plaid looks so pretty. I know, right? I love that. And it has a sweet little flowers on it. I just loved both of those plaid papers. And it does, this plaid does match nicely with that embossing folder that's in there. I just didn't use the embossing folder. Okay, so then I'm going to cover up Shine Every Day. Don't fall in love with it because we're going to cover the whole thing. And we're just going to have the color. Okay, covering the whole thing. And then we've got our little branches and things. And we're just going to tuck them in there. I'm just going to put some liquid adhesive on them. And we're just going to tuck our branches. So I've got a light one. And a dark one. I'm just noticing, I think I grabbed a wrong one because they're different. One goes to the left and one goes to the right. That's okay. I think I grabbed different ones out of the kit. I'm gonna grab that one. Okay, and then I'm going to chop off the end of it because he's not going in far enough. And then I'm just gonna tucky him in there also. It looks like I'm finally seeing comments. Yay! Okay, so we're just gonna tuck him in. Actually, I'm gonna take a little bit more off. I want him tucked in a little bit farther. I don't want him sticking out the same distance as the other one. There we go. I like that. Much better. Okay, then I'm going to put my red one in first over here. Again, kind of just tucking it. Depending on where you put your foam dots is where it's going to tuck. I'm going to have to lift this one. My foam dot is right in the way. Perfect. Put some liquid on the back of that, and we're just going to tuck this branch. And then we got the pink one, and we're just going to do the same thing with it. And just kind of tuck it. I kind of alternated them. So on this one I did pink, the light pink on the bottom and the dark pink on the top. And then for this next one, I swapped it. So I put the dark pink on the bottom and then the light pink on the top. There we go. And then we'll just set that down. So there we have that. Okay. And then we have the Just For You. That is going to be right here. And this one I did just wonka using my best Pac-Man. I did just cut this one out. So it was from the tag paper. Because I figure I can cut less than an inch a straight line, right? The goal is to not lose these pieces, though, when you cut them. I dropped my its for my other card onto my rug, and I about never found it because it's one of those shaggy sari rugs. Yeah. There weren't a whole lot of sentiments in here. I did pull out my sentiments from Maker Mania. Those were some good ones, but then I decided not to use them. Okay, so we have Just For You. I'm going to start with the U. I always start with what I have the most room for and then kind of work backwards in case my other things don't fit. And it looks like we're going to fit. And I'm just using my liquid again and just gluing them down. Okay, and then the last things to decorate it, what I did is I just add some little gold blings. And these are actually from the last Crafty Hour, the ultraviolet kit that we did with the Uniquely Creative. These were the gold gems that were in that kit. And it looks like I've used all of my small ones. So I'm just going to put 3 on that one. But see, things come from one Crafty Hour kit to the other. Okay, so there's that. So then when you're done, I don't remember which one's my original and which one's this one. So what you're going to do, this is now done, our little sliding mechanism. You're just going to kind of lift it up, and it has like those little butterfly wings. And it, like I said, you can put some inserts or decorate your paper on the inside. We're not going to do that right now just to save time. And this guy is just going to go on each side of that crease. And sometimes you just got to get them started. And this might be my, I'm not sure which one's my original one. And then it just slides right on, just like that. And then you have your gatefold card with a sliding closure mechanism. Isn't that cute? I love it. Love it. All right. How are we doing, guys? Uh-oh, we better boogie. We got 20 minutes. Okay, there's card number 1. Card number 1. And like I said, you can do this with all kinds of different shapes. You can do a circle. You could do a square card with a square in the center. You could totally turn this front window into like a shaker card. There's so many different ideas that you can do with this fun slider. So I can't wait to see what you guys come up with those. But so there's card number 1, the gatefold with the sliding closure. Oh, thank you, Lynn. Good to see you. Right there. Okay, so our other one's going to be kind of a quick one because I knew the interactive was going to take a little bit longer. And it's just going to be kind of a simple 1-layer card. I loved all the lemons in this set. Usually I'm drawn to like the butterflies and things, but this collection was the lemons. The lemons had my heart. So this is going to be a simple A2 card. You're going to, whoops, there's all my pieces. Simple A2 card. So you're just going to 4 1/4 by 5.5 or by 10. You're going to fold it in half. So this is your A2 card. So it is 8.5. I don't know why my numbers aren't working, by 5.5. 8.5 by 5.5, and then you're going to score it at 4 1/4. So you have a standard A2 card. Okay. Then we're going to cut our piece of gold, and I already did mine because I was doing something else. That is 4 by 5 1/4. So we're going to have a little bit wider white border than we did on the last card. Bigger white border. And then your gold, whatever shape you want to use, I'm going to use the same one again because I am just loving the look at this doily. And I love what it does to foil. Look how it just does that beautiful pin dot in there with the foiling. So I'm going to cut this guy out of the center to use on my card to bring that gold back in. If you don't have this die, use whatever you have, guys. A deckled would be fun. The baby scallop from Tonic would be fun. Or if you don't have any nesting dies, just cut a rectangle. You're just going to cut a rectangle. So I'm going to go ahead and die cut this out really quick. And I'm going to cut it out of the center of my card because you know we're going to gut it because we're going to cover it. So why not? Hi, Scruffy. Are you supervising? You're being good girl. Yes, you're good girl. My die cutter's on the floor, so Scruffy got all excited that I got on the floor with her. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and just glue. There's our piece, and look at how luxurious this looks. Now, this is called, it's called Scallop Stack. Scallop Stack. We have the rectangle is what I'm using right here. It also comes in a circle. It also comes in a square. I don't think it comes in an oval. I think it's just square, rectangle, and circle. If I was at the store, I could Grover and do near far and run over to the rack and find it. But I'm at home in my craft room. Okay, so we're going to glue your gold down. We're just going to glue your gold down to your standard A2 card. We're doing just a quick, easy, simple one since our other one had a lot of steps to it. Okay. And we're just going to put that right in the center, and you're going to have a little bit of white all the way around the outside edges. It's a little bit more white than what we normally use. I wanted a nice fat white border on this one. Or fatter than we normally do. Okay. And then in your homework, I had you guys grab this. That was the green plaid. I love this plaid. It's so pretty. I think I used every plaid that was in the set. We're going to cut this 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. So it's going to mat right in the center of that gold. So 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. Okay, so it should just go right in the center of the gold. There was a lot of fun ephemera bits in this kit that we did for you guys. It was hard to narrow down what pieces to use. There was just so many good ones. I really liked all the flower pieces. that looked like they had a little piece of Scotch tape that had just taped them down, or a little piece of washi tape. I loved all of those. And I had those on some cards with just a white embossed background. But I thought it was too simple. So then I kind of took them apart and did something different. But I just love all the bits and pieces in this collection. It's a beautiful collection. It'd be great for a little junk journal also. Okay, so there's that. So in your homework, again, I had you grab things in there. So there was another tag in there. So you know what we got to do. We got to add some black twine, black jute. If you have natural twine, use whatever you have, guys. If you have ribbon, put something in the hole, something in that little hole to kind of decorate it. And then for this one, what we're doing is we're just clustering. There was lots of big ephemera in this set, in the bits and pieces. So we're just going to go in and we're just going to cluster all of those pieces. And then I know there's a science to tying a bow that doesn't go all over the place, but I'm yet to figure that out. Okay, so there's that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just chopping this off because we're not going to see it anyways, and you can use that on something else. Oh, I might not be able to chop it off now that I put my... Just chopping it off. Use that on something else. We're not going to see it. And now that it's not straight, it's bothering me, so I'm going to straighten it up. Okay, because we're going to tuck it. You're not going to see it. So what we're going to start with is this piece. I love labels. I love vintage looking labels and things. So we're going to start with that piece, and we're just going to put him flat. Okay, just glue him flat. Just like that. In here, I love this piece too. It looked like a little piece of washi tape, but we're going to cover half of that anyways, so don't fall in love with it. That piece is going to go on here on the gold. I put it so it's equal at the top and sides. You're not going to see the bottom, so don't even worry about the bottom portion of it. You're not even going to see it. And in fact, in mine, you know what? We're going to do it. I cut mine in half so I can use that somewhere else. I mean, don't waste the good stuff. And then just put it on the top and sides. It's going to be tucked behind stuff anyways, so don't waste the good stuff. Okay. Now this piece, this whole piece, I'm going to put on low foam tape. So we're going to pop this piece. Okay. Okay, and then I'm going to come over here and pop it, and it's going to be, I'm going to say my corner is right there on the R. Right on the R is where I've kind of gone. Okay, kind of right on the R. And then we're going to take the lemonade, and it's just going to overlap it. It's going to overlap that piece. I'm going to see if I cut the bottom of that one off. So I'm going to put a little low foam right here just at the bottom. And then I'm going to put liquid on the rest of it. Okay. And then that's going to glue right onto that piece. And when I put the liquid on, actually I'm not going to put any liquid on yet because we're going to tuck some stuff behind it. So that foam will hold it for the moment. But we're just going to layer it just like that. Okay. And then our little tag that we cut off, we're just going to tuck him up in the corner. So we'll put a little bit of liquid on him. And we're just going to tuck him here in the corner, and he's going to kind of overlap as much or as little as you want. But we're just kind of building our clusters. So when you build clusters, you want to have lots of movement and you want things overlapping each other. Nothing ever lines up perfectly to the left or the right. You just kind of keep staggering stuff. Okay, and then we've got this flower cluster. We're going to tuck it in here. Okay, we're just going to tuck it in just like that and have it kind of poking out. So again, add some liquid. And I think on my original one, I even ripped the bottom of that off because mine wasn't tucking very well. But we didn't put any adhesive on here. Gold. Oh, with the gold, yes. The gold just makes these colors pop. It really does. Okay, now that we're tucking, now you can go ahead and put some glue on there and glue this piece down. Now that we got everything tucked. Sometimes it's easier to tuck and then glue than it is to glue and then try to tuck in around it. And everything's kind of lifted. Got that. I love this butterfly. So we're just going to bend his wings a little bit and then just put a little bit of glue on his belly. I love to do that. And then we're just going to stick him up here. And then on my butterfly, I'm out of the small gems, but I took the itty bitty little gold and just put 3 on his little belly, and that kind of brings in the gold from the outside edges and brings all the color together and just makes it pop. So you'll do that on there. Okay, so the Life is Sweet. Couple things. We're going to cut out this piece right here. This pink piece is what we're going to put. And I do find if I use bigger scissors, I cut a straight line better. Jeanette taught me that secret. Because you can look down the barrel. Okay, so we're just going to cut out the pink piece. Okay. And then we're going to cut out the Life is Sweet. That's where our sentiment came from. Life is sweet. And again, I'm just going to go over here and Pac-Man it. Wonka, wonka, wonka. Okay, and then we're just going to cut that out again. Don't lose your is. Oh, I lost that originally, and that was hard to find. just going to glue that down to this piece, and I purposely kind of glued it wonky. Did everybody get that sign language? Did you mean that meant wonky? So we got life. Let's do is right side up. Kind of reminds me of like a ransom letter. Is. We got sweet. And then we're just going to glue that piece on there. So I'll just put a little liquid at the top. You could put foam on the bottom of it too, since we have foam here, which is what I might have done in the original. Nope, I just glued it. It's just living on the edge. And then we are going to put pops on the back of our lemon. Again, I just loved all the lemons in this set. So much fun. I think it's the yellow. I am drawn to yellow. I love the color yellow. And then we'll just put our lemons right there. Which in our color theory class, we learned that the yellow can be cool or warm. Can go either way. Can go either way. It's one of those magical colors. It will mix with greens and make teals, or it will mix with reds and make oranges. I learned so much in that class. Trying. I might have to put, oh, I'm good with it. And there we go. And there is card number 2. And look at that, guys. 2 minutes to spare. Look at that. All right. So there is our Crafty Hour number 68. If you are joining us for the first time, welcome. I hope you enjoyed it. If you've joined us for all the Crafty Hours, thank you so much for your support. That is why we continue to do these, guys. So tomorrow, Crafty Hour number 88 will go live. We've all kind of sneaky peeked you guys a little bit and gave you a hint to it. These items are in stock now, which means they will be ready for pickup and or shipping immediately. Along with the add-on items, there's going to be some add-on papers, stamps, dies, and a stencil that matches and coordinates with them too. So those will go live tomorrow at 11 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Pacific. We will be doing the live reveal, and we will be plugging those links for the 2 stores to purchase them at that time. It's going masculine, and I think you guys are going to love it. So thank you so much for spending an hour with me, guys, and crafting along. I cannot wait to see what your creations look like and what you came up with. Make sure to join the Scrapbook-N-Memories scoop group and post your stuff over there on the board so we can see what you did. Have a fabulous night, everyone. As always, happy crafting and stay safe. Thank you and bye-bye.